Nigerians are better than those of us who have been here for centuries. The argument is that the plane they came in on was basically a filtration system that sorted them out before they ever even landed here.
My G, what's the point of the goddamn video, my bro? What's good?
They were the cream of the crop. And of course, the cream of the crop is usually...
Alright, so my guy's saying black immigrants versus African American immigrants versus whatever's going on, bro. I thought everyone's just black, bro. No one really cared about the difference, but apparently someone did. But yeah, this Obama who didn't go to Harvard and stayed on the weed candidate is talking some Republican-esque stuff. Let's see what it's saying, bro.
Think about two kids on the same block. Same school, same bus stop, same everything. One of them recently arrived in the U.S. with his family from Nigeria. The other kid,
Nigerians are alright still, man. Stay off the Nigerians, bro. We need doctors too, man.
Here with his family, who's been here since the slave ships. Now imagine...
But why you going from the slave ship time, bro? Black people before that, bro. You ain't heard of that? I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to come from a good place, bro. Always come from a place, but I pick where you coming from, bro. I'm coming from Wakanda.
10 years has gone by. One of them is walking across the stage at his graduation. The other one, he's sitting in front of a judge facing 10 to 25 in a maximum security prison. Now, I know that's not what happens every time.
Exactly. Why not? Because there's way more black people in America, from America, than a handful of immigrants you're talking about, bro. If them man go this that way, they usually get sent right back to where man's coming from, bro. They almost said the same thing to me, my cousin Jamal, bro, about going back to Jamaica, bro. So it's not that they don't commit crimes, it's that their ass gets sent quick back home.
People have noticed, and enough that somebody actually sat down and put numbers to it. The Pew Research Center looked at census data and found that black immigrant households make about $43,000 a year. Black American households, on average, on the other hand, make about $33,000.
Yeah, that's not making... Oh, my God, man. You have to remember, man. So the problem with these kind of misleading things is you're going off of, like, households, right? So usually there's a support system in that household. You're coming down as a family. You're not just coming down as one. And if you're coming down as one, you're coming to make money. These are just motherfuckers living their life, bro, and from the get-go, just land down where it's at, bro. So you'll talk about single-parent households and... Or, my man's being misled by the numbers, man. Sometimes the numbers can lie to you, my bro. I'm not a math scientist.
That's a $10,000 a year difference between two families who essentially look...
Two families, bro. You're counting the family of 4 and the family of 1, bro. With, like, 2 kids, bro. Come on, my G.
Same. They look the same to everybody who passes them on the street, right? These black immigrant groups marry at twice the rate that American blacks do. And
family, because they live in America, man. It's a different culture, my G. Damn.
Go to prison at about 1/9 of the rate that American blacks.
Because their ass gets sent back home before they commit the first crime, G. Damn.
So you have two groups living in the same country with a...
I'll be honest with you, man. I picked on this because I thought we were going to talk about actors in Hollywood, bro. But we're going to go on and continue. Let's go on.
The same skin complexion, the same job market, basically the same with everything that you would think would matter. So why is it that black immigrants outperform black Americans? That's the question. And
you see with this one, right? With these kind of things, like there's a saying, man, you make a good thing, or a bad thing into a good thing, or a good thing into a bad thing, and saying, oh, it's supposed to be a community, bro. If you come out as a community, then you just say, nah, nothing of it is great, bro. There's nothing to complain about. But the way you're coming at this, it's adversarial, standoffish way, which means ultimately everyone loses anyway, bro.
I don't think the answer...
Not more is less, it's less, it's more is more, bro. It's a numbers game as well, man. Come on, we just talk about a couple of numbers and Buki as well.
One folks tend to consider. Picture a family in Lagos, Nigeria. There's a mother, a father, 2 kids. Grandma lives down the road and has never lived anywhere else. There's a church they've all been going to their entire lives. And still, they decide to sell what they can sell. And they put themselves and those 2 kids on a plane to a country where they don't know a single person.
Because they want to be engineered, bro. That's crazy, bro. Come on, my G. Another thing is, right, what I have to realize, man, they live in one of the richest countries on earth, my G. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just really rich, bro. Even if you're poor in one of the richest place on earth. Like, you know, food's kind of bad, though.
You have to ask yourself, what kind of people
Why is it always Nigeria as well? What's going on, man? Come on. Africa's a continent, my bro.
do something like that? Not what national
Go out the box, pick like Angola or something, man. Do something people don't pick on, man. Pick one, a different one, man. My G.
nationality, what kind of people? That's what researchers mean when they use the term selection. What that means in a nutshell is that the folks who leave a country are not a random handful from that country. They're the ones who made a conscious decision to leave. And it should be noted that they're also the ones who had something going on before they left. They had the ambition, they had money, they had the ability to look 10 years into the future and bet on themselves to win. So the argument isn't that Nigerians are better than those of us who have been here for centuries. The argument is that the plane they came in on was basically a filtration system that sorted them out before they ever even landed here.
My G, what's the point of the goddamn video, my bro? What's good?
They were the cream of the crop. And of course, the cream of the crop is usually going to do well. And I'd venture to say that that's a strong argument, right? It's probably true as far as everything goes, but perhaps it doesn't actually go far enough. And there's two reasons why that might be. A sociologist named Todd Hamilton went looking at Black Americans who migrate from the state they were born in, then into another state. We're not talking about country to country migration here, just state to state. When a Black family that's native to the U.S. packs up out of a place like Detroit and then moves to Charlotte. What Hamilton found out about these kinds of families was that those folks have marriage rates and work rates that look very similar to the immigrants, same patterns. So what does that tell us? It tells
America's a hell of a place, man. It's a hell of a place.
That the family from Nigeria and the family leaving Detroit are doing the same thing. One of them needs a passport, but it's the same behavior. Same result. Whatever that plane did to filter and sort the Nigerians, a U-Haul did the same thing for Black Americans moving from state to state. Now, the second possibility matters a little bit more. Those parents from Lagos did well. Their two kids also did pretty well, right? But then those kids grew up and had children of their own. And in that third generation, the grandchildren, they start looking like Black Americans whose family have been here for generations.
What can I say, man? Coke's a hell of a drug, bro.
Crime went up, marriage went down. That's the part that selection can't explain. If the whole thing...
I can't, man. Motherfucking be American, bro. The motherfucking westernized, bro. That's the whole point.
...is that the parents from Nigeria were special, then the grandkids should still be running on the same special fuel. Whatever the parents had, they should have passed it down like anything else you pass down in a family. But 2 generations in, and somehow all of that disappeared. So something had to have happened here, and selection can't tell you what it was. This next argument, you've probably heard it before. Maybe you heard it from an uncle, maybe you heard it from the older guy with wisdom at the barbershop, maybe a conservative writer who's got real numbers backing him, but they all say it like it's an absolute fact, right? They say we were better off when we were segregated.
Boom!
Hell, I've said something similar, right? Back then, when we were doing our own thing, we may have had a Black doctor on the corner, a Black grocery store down the street, a Black teacher, the people who knew your parents. We were all grouped together because the law wouldn't let us do anything else. And look at us now. Things don't look near as good today. And I can...
Boom! What's he gonna say, though?
Understand the reason why people would feel the way they feel about the past. People are pointing at something real.
Because it's facts.
We don't seem to have any longer. But it's the reason that people tend to give that poses an issue for me. The way they explain it, it's about what you saw. The thought is that Growing up around black success is what bred more black success. Because black people and black children were able to see black folks running things, they got it into their mind that they could do the same thing. Or there's another version of this where people think of it like it's due to the lack of competition against whites. Being that you didn't have to compete, it just made things easier and you only had to compete within your own peer group.
My G, it's because you had your own money. Motherfuckers weren't sabotaging your crap. And motherfuckers are doing their own thing, bro. The same thing happened to my cousin when he had his own studio, bro. And the OGs came in and messed everything up, bro. And they're selling weed out of the studio, bro. Why do motherfuckers think selling weed out of certain places means you're not committing crimes, bro? It's like a smart move. But bro, you know, man.
Either way, the idea is that the reason for those seemingly better outcomes is the environment being all black. The thing is, that's a testable hypothesis, and somebody has already actually tested it. A woman by the name of Suzanne Modell spent years researching black immigrants from the Caribbean. And through her study, she
I shouldn't say that.
noticed something. Some of them came from countries that are almost entirely black, Jamaica, Barbados. But others came from places like Trinidad and Guyana, where about half the population is Indian and black folks don't run the place at all. So she was able to compare two groups, same skin color, same immigrant status, and they all landed in the same place, the United States. The only difference was whether they grew up in an all-black environment or a mixed one. When she compared how those two groups fared here in America, the outcomes were the same. So what does that tell us?
Got too much goddamn charts or something, man. You might need a woman, bro. Dang.
If needing to see black people doing well was the thing, the ones from Jamaica should be miles ahead of the other group. They're not.
To be fair, bro, it might be an infrastructure thing as well. That man is coming down there. When you said Black Wall Street compared to the other one, it might just be like they were forced to have their own infrastructure is a key point. It weren't just whole black people there and they didn't have their own. They had their own thing. Like they had their own pipes, man. Legally.
If having to compete with white folks was the reason for the higher outcomes, you get the same answer. Those folks aren't ahead either. So the old guy at the barbershop is right about one thing. Something we used to have did go away. He's just wrong about what it was.
What was it, though? I don't even know.
And so was I. It wasn't about what black folks could see. It had to have been something else that segregation was carrying along with it. And that's what we need to go find out.
I bet you can say culture.
If we go back to that family that left Detroit for Charlotte, nobody selected them. They didn't have to get interviewed by the U.S. Embassy. They just looked at where they were. They looked at where they figured they could be, and they decided on the second one. They decided that was worth losing grandma down the street and every friend they'd had since grade school. That's a decision. It's a behavior. It's not about a country. It's about a choice. And we've got to recognize that's a pretty specific choice. It's the ability to take something painful right now on purpose because you can see something better waiting on the other side. It's people giving up the paycheck they already have for the one they think they can get later. That's a lot. And that's what the plane was filtering for. It's also what the U-Haul was filtering for. Same behavior, two different vehicles. Now you might be thinking, this is still a black immigrant story, isn't it? Well, you have to consider that immigrants outperform the native-born in every group in this country.
Bro, you just said it's the best of the best, man. But, yo, you know what I'm saying, man? Don't have cities, man. What happened to Wall Street, bro?
White immigrants get locked up at about a fifth the rate of white folks who were born here. That's white immigrants compared to white Americans. So consider what that tells us. Whatever this is, it isn't specific to black immigrants. It works on everybody in America, which means whatever's driving it was never race to begin with. It was about the choices that people make. And that's good news for us. It may not sound like it right now, but if you think about it, a choice is something we can do something about. There's no genetic flaw that American blacks have that other blacks don't. Whatever these families
I got something called real nigga Eilish.
with them,
I'm sorry about the M word. They're gonna cut the M word out, bro. Damn.
something in this country is wearing it down as generations pass. Now, as per usual,